are today. Pond mission. I'm exploring a series of ponds which contain some largemouth bass, smallmouth, bluegill, and maybe even trout too. So something a bit different. I don't really do this whole pond thing that much. I like attacking and exploring large bodies of water. I like the adventure and the exploring side. But today I said, what the hell, I'll go kill an afternoon, pitch some plastics in some ponds here, maybe even do a bit of fly fishing and see if we can hook into some LMBs. Looks like I'm the only one here, so that's pretty good. Let's go do it. All right, so what do we have here? Well, basically, we've got a woolly bugger on this fly rod, and then just a standard craw presentation. And then probably the most versatile bait of all time is just a 3-inch plastic. Can catch anything with that. So it's gonna just be a day of exploring, testing out some tactics. So let's go do this. Jesus Christ. Holy. I'm having a blast out here, wiping out every 15 steps. So this plastic like this is a good search bait. I'm basically trying to just look for any abnormality in the shoreline that fish may relate to. You know, a lot of these ponds are just big bowls. They do have structure. I mean, this one has some structure and like a few points jutting out. So any transition zone like that, rock to sand and weeds, I'm looking for. I like to throw a plastic like this at first because it's a good search bait. I'm not gonna throw something that I have to fish slow because then it'll just take me forever to cover water. Come across what we call some call it a moose nest. A lot of these areas can hold a lot of fish. What the beavers do is they'll stack a bunch of branches in the water like so, which they'll use as their pantry over the winter when they can't get out from under the ice. And so a lot of bait fish will use that as shelter, and the fish actually just rose right over there. But these are actually decent areas, usually these beaver lodges. Now what I see here is it appears as though the water is lower than it should be. I don't think there's beavers currently living in here because the underwater entrances are no longer underwater. These usually would be underwater, so the beavers would be swimming in and out. But then there's another beaver lodge over that way somewhere. So they might have just relocated and built something new, but I always cast around these areas because there could be fish hiding in amongst those logs, and I just saw one rise there. So I'm gonna focus on an area like this a little bit. So I'm gonna try this. This water is quite clear. Oh! Yeah, there's a bluegill. Maybe those were rock bass. Oh my gosh, I had him. Oh, and there's a turtle on that log. See what I'm gonna do now? I shouldn't be wasting my time with these tiny fish, but I'm just gonna prove a point here. So this plastic is a little too big for those rock bass. So I'm gonna take this fly here, this woolly bugger, downsize on the presentation here. This should produce. Try not to spook these fish. If I can get these rock bass to come out, I kind of spooked them. Oh, I got one on me. Come on. Yeah, there we go. That was pretty instant. That goes to show why you should fish abnormal things such as, oh, sunken trees, sunken logs, as long as you're careful not getting your hook in the trees, and always have a variety of baits at your disposal. There, oh, I just had another one, but there's also, you gotta be careful fishing around trees like this, because if I hooked like a 4-pound largemouth right now, that could get ugly. Get way into that stuff, which you don't want. I could break it off, or I would lose my fly, lose the fish. It just wouldn't be it wouldn't be a good scenario. So I've made it to a beaver lodge, which looks there are definitely beavers living in there, and there's already food reserves for the winter. So I'm gonna fish here. Chances are there's more rock bass and maybe bluegill. I'm just gonna keep doing the thing. Hopefully the beavers stay indoors. So my goal today is not to, oh, yeah. There we go. First cast, another tiny rock bass. Cheers, dude. Where? I'm gonna let it sink a bit. Man, I should really be, yeah. Oh, bang, tabanak. I should really be wearing my polarized shades. Yeah, here we go. Oh, there he goes. That was kind of funny. I think there was one right there. Oh yeah, that was one. Okay, I think we're gonna move on here. Keep her moving here. Rock bass typically don't get big, but I mean, come on, like 5-6 inches, that's kind of what I would call pathetic. We're kind of looking for a 10-11 incher, maybe 8 or 9 would be. Oh my keys, you had me tabanak. This water is uber clear. Uber clear. Unreal. But let's keep moving. Bluegill. Another one. Well, that's a good sized bluegill. Just saw a largemouth not too long ago. It was a good sized largemouth. Or at least not good size, but like an actual fish, you know, as opposed to these tiny little bluegill and rock bass. I want it so bad. I mean, the sun's on the horizon. I can't afford to wait anymore. Come on, man. Come on, largemouth. Come on, largemouth. Come on, largemouth. Come on, largemouth. You know you like this. If I just let it. Yes! Got one, frickin' right. Oh my gosh, I wasn't ready. What the hell? Come on. Well, it's the right flavor, but it's so tiny. That's a largemouth, but frickin' Christ, man. It's so tiny. There she goes, but like I said, I'm working it a little faster just because typically, at least when I'm smallmouth fishing, I like to just drag them on bottom, drag them in the rocks. But here it's just so weedy. So I kind of just jig it. I jig it. And then, and I jig it and keep it off bottom, but it still has that action, like it's still bouncing, which I like. And clearly, maybe a fish or two will be into that eventually, maybe, granted, a good sized largemouth. You know, like, oh, get out of here. Well, that is it. Sun is set, and it is time that I return to my residence. The adult largemouth evaded me today, which is unfortunate, but just a beautiful evening here and awesome time nonetheless. I think the biggest takeaway was just you go fishing, expect to learn stuff. Bring a variety of different baits and tactics that you can work with, because things won't go as you expect them to. Anyways, that's it from me, and we will see you in the next adventure, next session. Cheers, folks, and thanks for watching.